welcome back to the Black Leather Eyes channel. Jason here. So how's everyone? Everybody's keeping well out there. Alright, so I have a bunch of heavy metal records I want to show. I've been listening to the other stuff the past couple of weeks, but thought I'd show the heavy metal stuff. Just stuff I've been circling back to recently, and there's one new record in here which I picked up last week, which I'm really chuffed about. Alright, so what we're listening to in the background is Full Moon. Came out in '89, I think, on Voices of Wonder Records. So that's what we're jamming. Alright, so first up, this is the new record. All the rest of this says stuff that I've just been revisiting again, but I picked this up. A Force EP came out at the in the early 80s. So this is a reissue. I've been looking for this record for a long time, and I didn't know this reissue had come out until someone the other month I made a video. I was talking about Al Morris and his band Iron Man. I was showing some Doom records, and somebody had contacted the channel in the comments and asked me if I had this EP on vinyl, which I didn't. And I don't know who it was actually. He was sharing some stories about his band had played with Iron Man and stuff. It was really cool. I forgot to ask him what band he was in. But he asked me if I had this EP. Didn't. And because of that comment, I went and had a look to see what the record's going for now, because I could never turn the original of this up. And I noticed that it had been reissued. So this came out in 2022 or something, I think, on Lost Realm Records. So I picked this up on eBay. Superb. I'm so glad to finally get it on record, because the original goes for money I'm not willing to pay for it, really. So this is 4 tracks. Got obviously Al Morris playing guitar on it. Really solid. I mean, his guitar sound is there from the start, isn't it? 4 tracks, as I say. One of them is sung by the bass player, the other are sung by the female singer. And yeah, really solid. Great rock and roll, heavy rock, and some Doom elements. You can hear the Budgie and Black Sabbath and Grand Funk Railroad vibe in the guitars of Al Morris, you know. There's a good write-up in the booklet in this, which I'd already read on the drummer's blog. So this is the pre-Iron Man stuff. They had a full-length out as well that was eventually put out. But yeah, this is really enjoyable. There's tracks on here. Control Agent is the one with the bass player sings. It's a really cracking rocking tune. The Beast, stuff like that. It's really, really fun. There's a good CD that came out years back, just called The Discography, that has all the Force stuff on it that they ever put out, which is really good. Good comp. But I'm so glad to get this. So yeah, that's Force. Al Morris soul band from Iron Man, and yeah, really happy to add it to the collection. So, alright, Iron Cross, superb LP. Go back to this one again, and over the past few years, this record has really become a go-to record for me. This originally came out in '86. This is an 8 metal reissue on red vinyl. And what a cracking LP. I really love this. So I mean, this has got a cover of Angel of Death by Angel Witch on it, and it just has a superb, grimy, gritty sound that just I absolutely love. Has a bit of a Nasty Savage sort of vibe, just in the attitude of it, you know. But yeah, what a cracking LP. I know Alan from Let's Talk Metal was the first person, a couple of years back, the first person I talked to in the VC who was also a fan of this band. Aaron, the Metal Theologian, has showed it recently. I know Thomas from Merciful Metal's a fan, and Dennis from Analog Archive. So it's really good to meet Iron Cross fans on here. This album fucking rocks. Yeah, really, really good. It's got a real sleazy vibe. And stuff like S&M Medley, the last song in this, you can hear wee bits of like Dead Boys and stuff to me on the vocals. Has that monster style riff before the vocal starts shouting, "Show me bondage." Really, really good. Misses in the Dark is probably the catchiest track on this, so it's not my favourite. Has like a sort of power metal jig to it, and that really catchy chorus. But what a fantastic record. Yeah, Iron Cross, originally from 1986. Florida heavy metal, superb record. Because of the influence you can hear of like Angel Witch on that, and the cover of Angel of Death, made me want to listen to some old Angel Witch. Now the first Angel Witch is one of my favorite heavy metal records. It made a big impression on me when I bought it in the early teens. I actually found my first copy I ever bought of it the other night, and it's absolutely butchered. It's laying about here somewhere. But I kept it for nostalgic reasons. But I pulled these two. Angel Witch's second album, Screaming and Bleeding, from I think this is 85, and the third one, Frontal Assault, from 86. These are both on Kilowatt Records. So this is probably my favourite of the two. Although this is the one with this has really ropey production on it. So for whatever reason, Kevin Hayborn decided that he just wanted to concentrate on guitar and writing songs, and they got in Dave Totham to sing. So these two albums have been like a little bit of a mystery for me for about the past 3 decades, but slowly they grew on me. Because the Spirit Angel Witch is still in here, and the riffs and the guitar playing. Kevin Hayborn to me is probably one of the most iconic from that new wave of British heavy metal period. He's got a brilliant dark mix in the way he plays guitar, his influences. He's got the way he chooses his notes, he's got a real class dark sound to it. And his voice I always thought was brilliant, and shitloads of character. Dave Totham's voice is it's a bit smoother, and I suppose maybe he thought, it would be a bit more palatable for people, give them a bit more success, but it didn't turn out like that, did it? And he's got a fine voice, but it's not the same to me, But this has cracking songs on it. It's a real crap production. Who's to Blame, Child of the Night, Evil Games is a cracking song, but it's an early Angel Witch song anyway. Reawakening reminds me of Titan, who released Rough Justice, who was formed with ex-members of Angel Witch. And Once the Night has a class doomy start to it. Goodbye is probably the most commercial track on this sounding track, and it has that outro that sounds like a horror movie sort of soundtrack vibe to it, which I really liked. Instrumental, but I really like this record. Hold on a second. And yeah, I think it's a fine record, taking on its own merits, and once I got my head around it, I was able to really love it. I've enjoyed spinning it again. Frontal Assault, the third one. This has a bit of a better sound. It's still rough as fuck, but yeah, it definitely has a better sound. And it's got great tracks on it, like Frontal Assault, Dream World, Rendezvous with the Blade, which later later renamed it Guillotine and put it on their comeback record. Straight from Hell is pretty good. Underdogs is a good song. But the thing about this record is Kevin Hayborn actually sings in some of this. And when you hear him, it's like a tease, It's like, why did you just fucking sing in the whole album? Yeah, it's sort of like half a wank. But fine record in its own right. And I liked when Angel Witch came back and Kevin Hayborn was singing again. I like the albums they've done since, so yeah. Frontal Assault by Angel Witch and Screaming and Bleeding. What's your thoughts on these? I think they're cracking records. Once I got my head over the fact that they were just different, I was able to enjoy them a lot more. I like the artwork on them. So they both came out in Kilowatt Records. Very, very small label. Angel Witch should have been huge, but anyway. There we go. That's what happened, right? So next up, Seducer. Heads Down, See You at the End. This one's from 86, I think. And got a great cover, hasn't it? With the warrior woman there with the sword and the skulls. But this has some cracking songs on it too. Probably not as good to me as the first one. The first one has all that loose feel to it. It's on fire. It's really lively sounding. This one's more precision and more what you would expect from a heavy metal record in '86. Brisket cracking songs on it like Liar and Hailsham, the opening track. No Contract's brilliant. Problems is an amazing song. Conditions, Die Your Bastard. It's got some absolute belters on it, and really catchy heavy metal, and a good crunchy guitar sound on it. Yeah, Seducer. Heads Down, see you at the end, and from 86 on Stud Records. Good to hear it again, really good. Any fans of the Black? This is Golgotha. This came out in Black Widow Records, and I picked this up not long after it came out. Me and the missus went to Amsterdam for a little trip, and found some cracking record shops, and picked this up, and bought a whole bag of records home with me. But yeah, this is really good. Italian strangeness. It's got bits of prog in it. Some of it even has like a 60s psych sound. It's got doom metal influences in it, 70s heavy rock influence, loads of organ. Songs are sung in Latin, and it's just got a strange vibe. So if you're into the weirder stuff and you haven't heard this, and you can, if you like Paul Chain and some of that Italian style, it's really worth hearing. Really good band, The Black, Golgotha. I think this came out in 2000, say on Black Widow Records. Some Sabbathy Pan Mash Brit metal from '86, Desolation Angels. So this came out in Tameside Records. The thing about this record was, I think this record was delayed as it was coming out, so it was a few years late, and it sort of landed in no man's land. And there's a reissue that came out of this a few years back, which if I was to pick this up now, I would definitely go for it, because you get the free single with it. You get a single with it, the 7-inch, the Valhalla, which is on the record too. But yeah, got a great cover. And this is sort of like, you definitely hear a Sabbath influence on this. There's a song on here, it's a Dance of the Demons. I think that's the track. I think it's on the second side. It has like a, the riff reminds me of In League with Satan by Venom, only the song sounds like it's played by Witchfinder General, you know. But it's got a really good vibe. It's really rough sounding if you don't know this record. And the vocals don't sound like they're mixed in properly. The volume on the vocals fluctuate as you're listening to the record. It can be a bit jarring. But once you get used to it, I love it. You know, it's not like the guy has a bad voice, you know. But it's really rough around the edges. So any fans of Desolation Angels? Yeah, 86 on Tameside Records. Really good. Way too late for to get any traction out of the new wave of British heavy metal movement, really, weren't they? Here's one from '79 that's reissued on the Dole Records. Hand It Down, Poison Noise. This is a band from Germany. It says came out in '79. This appeals to a lot of heavy metal fans, although it's not particularly stand out as a heavy metal record to me. It has more of a, even though it's from '79, it sounds like it's the way the songs are written. It's got more of a late '60s proto-punk sound to it. And I can hear bits of Dr. Feelgood sort of pub rock in it. Maybe a little bit of MC5 on the guitars and some songs. A song like The Meanest Man on side B, it sort of reminds me of the first Tigers of Tang record. But yeah, it's a fine listen, and it sounds really good. It's a good production job on it. And yeah, proto-punky sound, proto-metal sound, I suppose. If you like new wave British heavy metal, there's a certain similarity between that period and some of those records and what these boys were at. But yeah, I really enjoy it. Opening track's brilliant. There ain't no running away. The Hand of Doom Will Reach You. They Who Creep at Night's really good. Heavy Mad Head's really good. Doom Power's a cracking tune. Yeah. The Hand of Doom, Poison Noise. That can be picked up really cheap too. It's worth it. You know, it's good. It's a good record. Good listen. Some Running Away, the first years of piracy. So, yeah. This record is like, if you don't know this, and there's a lot of Runaway stuff I don't really know myself. apart from, but I really like those early records. And this is re-recordings of those early songs from those records, like the first three, you know. And those, especially those first two Runaway records, have all that dark underground charm that just make the records sound brilliant. But the songs are superb on them. So these updated tracks and versions of them, to me this really works. Usually I just roll my eyes at that sort of stuff when people, when bands re-record old tracks or whatever. But I think this one really works. They just update the songs. They don't fanny about with them. They just play them with the chops that they have at this point in time. Under Jolly Rogers on here, and Brandon Nackside, Soldiers of Hell, Walpurgis Night, Fight the Oppression. It's really, really good on this as well. Diamonds of the Black Chest. But you sort of get the feeling that Rock and Rolf, this is the way he envisioned those songs, but they just didn't. They just couldn't pull it off back in the day. Not saying it's not saying they're better, but it really, really works. And I reached for this one quite a bit over the past year or two. When I want to listen to Runaway, it's crept up there. You know, I really enjoy it. Yeah, First Years of Piracy, Runaway. What's your views on this one? Marionette, Dark Secrets, Blonde Secrets, and Dark Bombshells. So you might this is Ray Zell, who used to write for Kerrang! Magazine. Well, he was famous for doing the Pandora Peroxide cartoon strip and that. But this is his sleaze band from 1985, and this is really enjoyable. Actually, this has a sort of dark grind and underbelly to it. It's really trashy. Lyrics are pretentious as fuck. It has that sort of Johnny Thunders New York Doll swagger. It's like a low rent, cheap version of Hanoi Rocks, you know. But it's got shitloads of charm, and as I say, it's got that heavy grinding sound underneath it. It's got songs on it like Ain't Nothing to It, which is really good. Raise Hell, You Better Believe It, On a Night Like This is a pretty good song. Staggering Back to, there's a song on this called My Baby Sucks. SUXX, yeah, as they were prone to do these sleaze bands. But yeah, from 1985 and Heavy Metal Records, and it's a really fun record, I think, if you like an early slice of sleazy glam from England. Really good. Here's a weird one, Deep Switch, 9 Inches of God. I've been heading back to this one again recently, and this album just intrigues me. It's I love this cover. I've shown this one before, I think, earlier on my channel, but I think this cover was done by one of the family members from one of the guys in the band or something. But look at the band there, and this is really strange, right? Look at that, you see that? The guitar, right? And this looks like a cock, like a dildo stuck on the end of it. I don't know what that's about. I don't know whether he was playing live and he liked to shove it up the singer's ass or something, but it's very, very strange. Yeah. 9 Inches of God. What a strange record. As I say, I just keep going back to this record, trying to figure it out. This is from 1986. This was released on Black Widow Records. A reissue of this is the original, but a reissue came out on Black Widow Records, which is where I was introduced to the record, because I was really interested in what Black Widow were putting out. They were putting out stuff by Agony Bag and this, and even Pentagram and Black Widow, and they always chose really quirky sort of sounding LPs, you know. You were always guaranteed to get something different. And this is different. Pig Feeder, the first track, it has like almost like the patterns in the voice sound like he's rapping. The guitar playing on some of this is brilliant. The guitar solos are absolutely fucking fantastic on it. Time Machine's really good. 9 Inches of God, the title track. Poison Lake reminds me of like some of the guitar playing, the riffing in it reminds me of Merciful Fate. Will Make Nowhere is near as confident and great sounding, you know. Dark Angel is a good song. Poor Bastard, which I think is about disabled people, and they've got a sense of humour, a quirky English sense of humour, and it's like a Monty Python-esque sort of vibe to to some of their humour. But yeah, anybody into this? Deep Switch, 9 Inches of God. I say I know I've talked about this one before, but just circling back to it again, and yeah, what a strange little album. Yeah, what do you think of it? Black Death from 1984. So this is the one that came out in Burn Records. This has some brilliant stuff on it, and you have to love that cover. Sicky's face act there with his nappy pin and wearing his underpants over his spandex, right? But stuff on this, like the opening track, Night of the Living Death, it has that sort of Stooges, almost Stooges style riff on it. Screaming the Iron Messiah is a great track, and When the Tears Run Red, really fun record. This has a single with it as well. But yeah, Black Death from 1984. All right, a few more. Handsome Beasts, Bestiality, featuring Gary Fat Bastard Dalloway, as I used to call him in Kerrang magazine back in the day. And yeah, this has songs on it. Probably the most famous songs on this are like Sweeties and Local Heroes. But it's more famous for its cover, I suppose. With Gary here, at least he's wearing red underpants. And at least he had the decency to wear black socks. If he was wearing white socks, that would have been a fucking nightmare, right? And this is Edna the Pig, who probably ended up on Gary's plate at some point. But yeah, this has Sweeties on it, which was the single, which had a real dodgy cover of the guy giving this a schoolgirl sweets out of a car. Complete Jimmy Savile. Local Heroes was on this as well. There's good stuff on it like High Speed and Turn Me Apart. It's sort of bluesy and like pub rock and sort of heavy rock. It doesn't give you any signposts to where heavy metal was going in the future, you know, like the way the Angel Witch debut did, or the energy on those early Iron Maiden records. It's you can imagine them playing at a biker rally, you know, and they would knock out Born to Be Wild pretty handy, you'd imagine. But yeah, Handsome Beast, Bestiality, not one of my favourites, but it's good to hear again. Here's their next album from 1990, The Beast Within, and yeah, this is more of the same, only it's got a wee bit more energy, and it's a wee bit flashier because it's 1990, and the singer's the only person left in the band, but it's got stuff on it like one of the only original members left. Mr. Mescalito's on it, Mescalito, Hurry Legs, Chain Gang, Let It Go. It's not great, but yeah, just listen back to it. It's like, I don't know what they were thinking in 1990. Don't know who this was going to appeal to, but they knocked out another record, and fair play to them. Tyson Dog, Crimes of Insanity. This is the first Tyson Dog LP I ever picked up. In fact, I bought this in Smithfield Market, where I used to buy it in Belfast. Here I used to buy a lot of records in Smithfield Market. Gordon at the Black and Hen channel will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I paid £2 for this back in the day. Yeah, Tyson Dog, Crimes of Insanity. Real sort of rough production on this. It's got loads of reverb on the drums and it just meshes everything up. But it's got some good songs like Taste the Hate, Don't Let the Bashers Grind You Down. Blood Money's a really good song. Smack Attack, Hotter Than Hell. There's a cover of Schools Out by Alice Cooper on this, which doesn't do anything for me, and it was the single from the album. So they were looking to get a bit of attention. But yeah, it's their second album. The first one I heard, it's not bad. It's a ropey production job on it. But this is to me, this is an underrated record. It's their first record, Beware the Dog. And yeah, this is superb. Produced by Kronos. Kronos does a wee bit of singing on it, and Demon. But this is great songs like Inquisitor, Dead Meat, Day of the Butcher is absolutely fantastic on this. We always give a lot of love to a lot of those lovable obscurities that we praise a lot. And this is better than half of them, I think, and doesn't get as much love. But yeah, Tyson Dog's debut, really, really good. All right, Tank, Filth Hounds of Hades. One of my favourites. Brilliant power trio. Augie Ward from played on those early Damned records, obviously, and some of the Saints stuff. No, he was in the Saints. Another two bands I really like. But it was brilliant. Struck by Lightning, Run Like Hell, Blood, Guts and Beer, Heavy Artillery. absolutely superb record, and I always love spinning it. This is their second one. I like all the Augie Ward stuff. Tank done. I don't know much about it. They had that lineup change and stuff. There's 2 bands going on under the name Tank. But Power the Hunter, their second one. This is produced by Nigel Gray, isn't it? They produced this. Who done some stuff for the Police or whatever. Produced some of their records. This one still has amazing songs, although the production just cleans it up a wee bit too much. There's not as much dirt as there is on this one. This is produced by Fast Eddie Clark, obviously, and it's got loads of dirt on it. It really suits the band. This one, it's cleaned up a bit, even though those songs are really good on it. Power the Hunter's on it. They do Crazy Horses by the Osmonds on it. Walking Barefoot Over Glass. Pure Hatred's really good. Red Skull Rock's probably a famous song from this record. But yeah, Power the Hunter by Tank. Really good to hear that again as well. 2 more. Alright. Girl School, Screaming Blue Murder. I picked this out because the same guy produced this. Nigel Gray produced this. And I just wanted to listen to it. I haven't heard this in a very long time. The third Girl School record, Screaming Blue Murder, came out in 1982. Get brilliant tracks on it. It's not as good as the first 2, but still a superb listen. And last one, Holy Terror, Terror and Submission. A great debut record from this band, featuring the guy that played in Agent Steel and on the first Agent Steel records. But yeah, really good. I like stuff like Evil's Rising on this and Blood of the Saints. The title track's really good. But yeah, Holy Terror, Terror and Submission. Really good to blast this again. So anyway, I hope everybody's alright. That was really rough and ready, and I'll hopefully see you soon. All the best. Bye.